I have the screenplay somewhere. It's for it's called The City of the Gods. It was before it was Frank Darabont spent a year writing it. It was, and Spielberg gave it the green light and gave it thumbs up, but Lucas shot it down.
Yeah.
Like Spielberg was like, "This is awesome, let's do it." And then when Lucas shot it down, Darabont was pissed. He's like, "I wasted a year writing this." It's, from all I hear, it's like pretty awesome, and it has a lot of elements that made it into Crystal Skull, but there's no Mutt, there's no Mac, there's like it's really weird. It's
like you found it or you're still looking for it?
No, I found it.
Okay.
And they did a like an article about it in Variety, but it's supposed to be pretty good.
So coming soon, we'll do an episode about
on
that.
City of the Gods by Shawshank Redemption writer, screenplay writer Frank Darabont. Like, I think it's gonna be good. Spielberg.
Well, I know, like George Lucas has that stamp that I think says like perfecto on it or something, and he walks around with, and he like Lucas didn't give it the
he didn't give it perfecto.
Stamp.
Spielberg said it was, but Lucas was like, no.
That's awesome.
I can't wait. We got to.
So coming soon. So here's
wow.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna we did the ranking of James Bonds. We're gonna rank the Quentin Tarantino filmography. We're gonna come up with a
wow.
1 to 10 or one. How
1
many?
to 9. I think
1 to 9, and 1 being the best, 9 being the least best.
Is he counting Kill Bill 1 and 2 as one movie? I can't remember.
In his thing, yeah. I mean, let's for now count them
chronologically.
We'll count Kill Bill as one movie, because that can't. Like, that's ridiculous if he's counting that as, like, two movies for his, like, 10 movie thing. For you, what's probably the easiest thing to do is think of, like, what's the best Tarantino, what's the worst, and, like, what do you think the worst one is? I mean, for me, it's probably Jackie Brown. Like, that's, like, I'm
trying to think, worst one. Oh,
Jackie Brown's like the one I watched the least. And it's like Jackie Brown's like one of those ones. Like it's good. It's just like it's like I don't go back to that one the way I go back to every single other one of his movies.
I can't believe we're ranking these.
Yeah.
I can't.
What's your worst Tarantino?
One. Oh my god, the one I watched holy shit, you're right.
For me, the best is yours is Pulp Fiction. For me, it's Kill Bill. Kill Bill's my number one. But again, I could go different ways with, but like Pulp Fiction is all fucked out. Like Pulp Fiction is great. It was the first, I think Pulp Fiction is the first one I saw. Have a lot of great memories with Pulp Fiction. Very nostalgic, really great. But it's kind of like it's just and it's not Pulp Fiction's fault that it got imitated to death, that I watched it to death, that it's quoted to death. But it's like it does, and again, I saw it recently and great as ever. But it's like, I really, really love Kill Bill. So Kill Bill's my number one. But again, Pulp Fiction, Pulp Fiction's up there. I think, do we go into Tarantino screenplays, because, maybe we can figure out a side thing for those. I love Natural Born Killers, even though Tarantino himself hates it. And then I love True Romance. True Romance I love. And I feel like that's... But like, we'll just stick with the 9 for now and maybe figure out...
Okay, number one, my first... Pulp Fiction at number 1. Mm-hmm. Creeping into number 2, I think, is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Love that one. When we saw it Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, by the end of it, I was like, this is his best film. This is number 1. Like, and I love it.
I love it too.
Love it. It's maybe cooled a little for me, but yeah, I might make that my number 2.
That's my number 2 as well.
It's so hard too, because I love Inglourious Basterds. I
do too. That was my number 2 up until Inglourious Basterds is so fucking
Inglourious
good.
Basterds.
So
I saw at a movie theater, sitting in the balcony. It was like so perfect. And
Operation Kino.
Operation Kino. I had the ending spoiled for me by Jimmy Kimmel, because I watched Quentin Tarantino on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel comes out and he says, "Well, you changed history for the end of the movie," and I was like, "Oh, okay, so I guess they kill Hitler at the end. Okay, great. Thanks,
Thanks,
Jimmy. Thanks for ruining what would have been a really cool like surprise. And I was like, yeah,
You're like,
yeah. And then when Hateful Eight was coming out, I was watching. Tarantino was on Kimmel again. I'm like, whatever. I want to see this, so I'll watch it. Even though I got burnt. And then Jimmy Kimmel was like, "Oh, it's so great when Channing Tatum comes out." And I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker!" I'm like, Channing Tatum. I'll bet Channing Tatum played Lincoln, and that would have been such a great surprise. And you ruined it for like I was convinced that Channing Tatum was going to show up as Abraham Lincoln.
We have it's like
because usually like Abraham Lincoln is like Hal Holbrook or something, but like Channing Tatum to play Lincoln would have been so perfect and so amazing. And Jimmy Kimmel, you took that from me, but then the movie comes and like he doesn't.
He shows up.
Abraham
he's
Lincoln.
like Channing Tatum's kind of yoked in that movie. Lincoln has the sleeves cut off on his suit, and he has like rippling biceps and stuff. His pecs go up and down.
Yeah. So Jimmy Kimmel. I was so ready, like I thought I knew everything, like, and because I did guess the Hitler ending based on what Jimmy Kimmel said, but I did not get, but I incorrectly.
Yeah, Inglourious Basterds has one of like the strudel scene.
Has the strudel scene, and I love the role that like language plays in it, and having a facility for language plays a role in it, and then the little subtleties of when the wires get crossed for language, and then the disadvantage you're at if you don't understand languages and stuff, like all that stuff plays out so perfectly.
We were talking about his screenplays. We need to do another episode, another ranking on the best use of food in his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have,
so the strudel with la creme, the creme.
Wait for la creme. It's a cigarette out, or the beer from Django when they're getting to the tap and then he uses like froth. That uses the blade to get the froth off.
And then the nachos.
Stuntman Mike nachos. My god!
Grindhouse.
Somebody did a video like some food like YouTuber where they made Grindhouse. They made death proof nachos.
Now that we're and again they talk about when they talk about Grindhouse they don't talk about it as they talk about it as Death Proof and Planet Terror as two separate movies because that became the DVD release. But I think of them as one movie. Me and too. When I saw Grindhouse, it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had at the movies. And so I keep those together. I keep it as a whole. Too. And I bought like the DVD set that had like the full thing with all the trailers and stuff. That's what I have. I don't buy, and I've watched Planet Terror and Death Proof, like the separate DVDs, and they're fine and dandy, but they're not the magic that they are when it's the whole Grindhouse experience.
I can't believe a major studio released that.
Yeah, and then immediately regretted it. Like again, all these things where it's like, the Flash, the new Flash movie. It's like, it's like the new Indiana Jones movie. Like all these things that are so for me. And then it's like, we're never doing that again.
Well, both of us have. I might go. I think Nick Cage might be my favorite actor. Like, he was in both of those movies. He's in one of the interstitials in the Grindhouse.
Yeah, he plays Fu Manchu.
Fu Manchu. Yeah.
Grindhouse might be my number one. Grindhouse number one.
Shit.
Kill Bill 1 and 2 is number 2.
Let's go top 5.
Once Upon a Time is number 3. Pulp Fiction's number 4. Pulp Fiction's number 4. Inglourious Bastards number 5. So that's like my top 5 so far.
I'm gonna go top 5. I'm gonna go Pulp Fiction 1, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2, Inglourious Bastards 3. I'm actually gonna split. I'm gonna go Grindhouse. Well, Grindhouse is so. I'm just gonna go Death Proof.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Death Proof as 4, and then I'm gonna go Kill Bill Volume 2 at 5.
When we talk about the 9, like just counting the movies, just without like a ranking, it's like
let's see in order.
We got
Reservoir
Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2. That's 5 movies. And then Hateful Eight, Django, Inglourious Bastards, that's 8. And then Once Upon a Time. So that does seem like I didn't miss anything in there, did I?
You didn't say Death Proof.
Yeah, okay, Death Proof. So that's 10. It seems like Kill Bill is counted as one movie, and he created it as one movie.
You mean volumes 1 and 2 are put
1 and
together?
2 are counted as one movie.
Then I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that at 4.
I mean, it is fun to like kind of rank the Kill Bills, separately, but it's like, why complicate things? This is complicated enough to begin with.
So I'm gonna do. Okay,
man, you know what though? Like,
just so good. What were your top 5 again?
Because I'm even just going through them. It's like, man, Reservoir Dogs. I've watched a million times.
I
love it. And then there was another one. Django.
I know.
Like Django could be number 1.
I know.
Like
Django
any of these could
be number 1 any day. My list changes all the time.
Any of these,
roving.
Exactly. This is just a snapshot.
Now,
any one of these could be number 1, except Jackie Brown.
I was rewatching. Speaking of Michael Keaton, Tom, like the whole movie's fucking. We love Jackie Brown.
Yeah,
too.
Jackie Brown's
great. And like I rewatched it recently, and Michael Keaton. His scene where he's interrogating Jackie Brown is fucking. He grabs his nuts at one point, and then he also does a De Niro impression in the scene. I'm like, he just did De Niro's in the movie, so I'm like, he just fucking did a De Niro where he goes.
Everybody forgets.
It's fucking awesome.
Everybody forgets because like Michael Keaton's like older now and stuff, but he was the goofball. Like Johnny Dangerously. He was, and he was a stand-up. He was like such a fucking goofball, and it's like. He brings a little bit of that goofball to all his roles.
So good.
And like his in The Flash as he brings some of the goofball. I mean, he brought some of the goofball to his Batman in the first 2 Batman movies, but like he brings some goofball in a big way to The Flash.
Tarantino needs to put him in another one of his movies. Like
it's like Jackie Brown. Like I just heard Tarantino say that if somebody tells him that Jackie Brown is their favorite of his movies, he says, well, then you're not a fan of my movies, which I thought was very weird. Like that's an odd thing to say. Like they're all your babies, and if somebody like that is weird, but like it is like, and I'm kind of there too. Like I'm for like the gonzo out there crazy stuff, and Jackie Brown's great, but like all his other stuff is so much more like out there. And
Jackie Brown's more grounded.
Yeah,
the Django could be like.
Yeah, Django's so good. Like Django, I've watched a million times too. Like I think it is like. Kill Bill is number 1. They're just so great. Each one gets better. It's just like a matter, each one's better than the previous one. It's just like a matter of like your personal taste. And so my personal taste is like gravitating more towards Kill Bill. Maybe it's Kill Bill, Django, Kill Bill, Kill Bill, Grindhouse, Django, Inglourious Bastards, Pulp Fiction, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Reservoir Dogs, Hateful Eight, Jackie Brown. That's my 9.
Reservoir Dogs, it's electric. It's like it's
so good. Reservoir Dogs could also be my number 1. It's just that so this is just where I'm at right now.
And like. But I can see it if somebody would say it's not like up in their top 5. I get it. Even Tarantino has said he'd be interested in remaking it.
Sure, I mean
that's an intriguing like
that is very common for like just creators of things in general. Like the famous one is George Lucas wanting to like continue like, but I have that impulse too, like wanting to like redo pretty much everything I've ever done, and so I get that, but it's like no, Reservoir Dogs is Reservoir Dogs. Like if you want to waste your time and remake Reservoir Dogs, that's up to you. But that's mine. What's yours?
Okay, God, today. Today,
exactly. That makes it easier because I was just like today where I'm at.
I'm going to go Pulp Fiction number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, But you're right. I have kind of burnt out a little bit. I watched that.
I watched it a lot. Like I bought it and watched it a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna go Pulp Fiction, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Inglourious Bastards, Grindhouse. Or no, Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Then Grindhouse. Then Django.
Mm-hmm.
Then Hateful Eight, then Jackie Brown, then Reservoir Dogs.
Okay. Wow, Reservoir Dogs goes behind Jackie Brown. That's good. You know, like so yeah, that's the definitive. Those two are the definitive rankings of the Tarantino movies. Quentin, get in touch with us if either of those line up perfectly with your thing. I think he ranks Once Upon a Time as his number one movie. That's it, and it's his most personal. It is really, really amazing, and I could put almost any of those as my number one, and I could easily put that one as my number one. And it was my number one for a little while there, but
I had to go. Even though Pulp Fiction's been mined to death,
it is it's
I
Pulp
rewatched
Fiction.
it. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, it's like, wow.
It does still feel
too. Like,
it does still feel so fresh when you see it. Like, again, none of this is a put down of any, like, the ranking. And even Jackie Brown. Like, putting Jackie Brown last for me doesn't mean that I in any way like dislike it. It's
what happened to your ass used to be beautiful. Robert Forster.
So many great stuff, like, because the
Pam Grier kicking ass.
The things that make it hurt for me, like not picking Once Upon a Time as my number one, is like the Bruce Lee, like seeing Bruce Lee resurrected is like was so amazing, like that. Oh my god, I can't believe,
and so many great performances, and like I haven't watched Inglourious Bastards in a while, so maybe I have to like tap into that again.
It's so good, like. Just there's like the scenes where it's like there's like a couple scenes in it where it's like we are fucked, like I've never seen such we are fucked, like from moment one, like the mission to like blow up the cinema is a suicide mission, like, and they're fucked from the first moment when it's like, bonjour or whatever. He's supposed to be Italian and he says
Gorlami.
Yeah, Gorlami. When Brad Pitt says buongiorno, it's like, okay, these guys are fucked. And then it's like when they're going into that mission and they got to go in the basement. It's like, oh, they're fucked. Like everybody's fucked. And like you know it going in.
The tension is just so, and it's great. Like that cast, like every actor that he cast, and they're like had like a moment where they were like starring in movies and stuff. Like all the supporting side players, like such a great cast job.
Hugo Stieglitz,
selfie to your Nazi balls.
Yeah, like, man, it must be so much fun writing that. Like he knows he's sitting on gold when he writes some of this stuff. Yeah, and
that doggy doctor pulled a bullet out of your gam.
The revenge of in Death Proof, like where it's because like Death Proof, it's like they reach a point in the movie where it's like we made it out alive, we did it, like we survived this horrible thing, and it's like let's go kick his ass.
Yeah, I love it.
Again, the revenge-o-matic.
I like and then Kurt Russell's scenes in the bar,
so great,
good.
Yeah.
He's like stuffing his face with nachos, having that like tonic water, and like.
And then again, like I think at a certain point, Tarantino was writing Stuntman Mike for Burt Reynolds to play, and so then there's a scene where Stuntman Mike like looks at the camera and smiles, and it's straight out of what Burt Reynolds does.
Somebody get a chicken suit for Stroke or Ace over there, and like Tarantino's in there playing the bartender Warren, like.
Yeah, Tarantino's worst role that he gave himself was the Australian accent in Django. He's like, hey, mate, maybe I didn't go like your baby. And he's been calling people mate ever since.
He's like, he should cast Paul Hogan in that role.
But yeah, so there's our list. Now, if you had to like cram a space for Natural Born Killers and True Romance, would you?
You know what?
Or how about the Jack Kirby Silver Surfer scene in
Crimson Tide? Yeah. Or when Tarantino and Avery are going to turn Jack Kirby, the Life of Him comics, into a movie,
right? Yeah.
And it's starring your casting choice, which is fucking brilliant. Sam Levine as Jack Kirby. Are you fucking kidding me? Mm-hmm. But like, I would say, so. In my if this would happen, True Romance, if Tarantino ended up directing it instead of Tony Scott, if he had to put it in the order, the out of order sequence,
right, not the non-linear.
If they used Tarantino's non-linear sequence and also used his casting choices of Robert Carradine from Revenge of the Nerds in the Christian Slater role and Joan Cusack in the Alabama role, that would be in my top 5.
Yeah, Joan Cusack would have been great.
Like Robert Carradine plays more like a dork. Like that dork element, he's where Christian Slater's kind of like, it's sex, it's me, I'm such a dork,
right? I'm a comics nerd,
over here. It's 90s Christian Slater.
I would put, just True Romance as it is, I would put after Pulp Fiction on my list, and then the Oliver Stone Natural Born Killers, I'd probably put before Jackie Brown. Like, it would be pretty far down my list, but it wouldn't be dead last.
I remember.
How about the scene in Four Rooms where he cribs the Alfred Hitchcock Presents episode?
I forgot about that. The Man from Hollywood episode. Oh, that's awesome. There's a show, Bosch. It's on like Amazon.
I keep seeing it. I haven't checked it out, but I keep seeing the thing.
One of the main characters, or the one, is played by one of the actors from that Tarantino.
Okay.
And I always think, I'm like, I need to rewatch Four Rooms every time I watch it. The guy that, he was, I can never remember his name. The guy in Four Rooms was originally either cast or was going to be Jules.
Okay.
I remember my dad, he was on him and his guys from a softball team. They went to see Natural Born Killers in the theater, and I thought it was I was like, Dad, are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna be okay? I thought I was scared for him, or
right, yeah, they kill a certain number of the people in the audience.
Yeah, I was frightened by that. I was scared by it.
That's funny. Yeah,
I thought it was the most I was.
Well,
I was so scared of it.
I saw my freshman year. I saw in the theater in Oakland and Squirrel Hill. I saw Pulp Fiction with my dad in Squirrel Hill, where I passed out. I think I told the story where I fainted during Pulp Fiction. I saw Reservoir Dogs at the Beehive in Oakland. I saw Natural Born Killers at the Beehive in Oakland. I saw Casino at the Beehive.
Oh, nice.
In Oakland. I saw it's all the same year, freshman year. What a cinematic initiation. I saw the Beavis and Butthead movie at the Beehive. I saw the Power Rangers movie, the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie in the theater, in the suburbs or whatever. I saw Forrest Gump, Batman Forever. I saw this was the year of cinema for me.
We'll have to do an episode on. I have every ticket I have from the 90s.
Cool. That's great.
We should do from the 90s up until really they started selling the tickets on those heat paper that disappears.
Fades, yeah.
I stopped
the thermal
print, but we should do an episode where we empty this I have this cup.
Yeah, I want to see that.
You want to go through and see what's in there?
I have a couple of select ones, and so
where do you see this collection?
Some of them are the special editions of all the Star Wars movies when they came out. Yeah, so I have some select ones here and there, but I don't have a complete thing. That's awesome. That's an episode.
Want to dig through that?
Yeah. So let's get out of here. But that sounds really good. I'm Tom Scioli, author of Jack Kirby: The Epic Life of the King of Comics. I Am Stan, a graphic biography of the legendary Stan Lee, and from Image Comics, Jack Kirby's Star Warriors, starring Adam Starr and the Solar Legion. And there's pre-order links in the show notes below for all of those books.
I'm Matt Zeoli.
And please follow me on Twitter at Tom Scioli, on Instagram at Tom_Scioli, and support my Patreon. Go to patreon.com and search Tom Scioli.
You can follow the show on Instagram at total_recall_show.
And we'll see you next. And we're waiting for your call, Quentin.
Yeah.
Tell us if we're spot on or if we're dead wrong or
please and Quentin, I know you and Roger have free reign to comment on this video, please.